Let's take a look at lesson 11.7, the last lesson for chapter 11 of inferential statistics. We have a Bellringer here to review hypothesis testing, and then we'll start with our new lesson. So number one here, oops, there it goes. It says for the claim K, use the specified information to calculate the test statistic and determine whether there is enough evidence to reject the null hypothesis. Then make a statement regarding the original claim. And so here's the claim K. It says the claim is that the mean is less than 540. So from there, we could establish that, remember, the null hypothesis always takes the equal sign. That means the mean must be this that has no equal sign, it's just less than. That means the null hypothesis would be that the mean is greater than or equal to 540. The alternative hypothesis is that the mean would be less than 540. And since that is our claim K, I'm going to write here claim. This is the claim. And so this is what we're evaluating here. It says we have a mean less than, let's go over to our calculator here while I talk about this hypothesis testing. It says, so we're testing that the original mean is 540 greater than or equal to 540. We'll go to the alpha here. It needs to be 0.1. Since it's just a less than, according to the rules, let me scroll down here. Since we're looking at the mean just being less than, it's a one-tailed test, and it'll be on the left side. So I'll show you the visual for that in a second. And let's see here. It says the X bar, which is the mean of the sample, is 525. We have a total number of samples that is 50. So to use the normal distribution rather than the t-distribution because it's greater than 30. The standard deviation here is 20. And let's see, is that all of it? Alpha, we got all that information in there. Okay, so now let's show you the visual. You can see it's in this critical region because it's shaded there. What I'm going to do is go to the alpha visualizations. Since we're only looking at the one tail, it's the left side because the mean, we're testing the alternative that the mean is less than 540. I'm going to turn the left on the normal distribution on, and I'm going to zoom in here so you can see. So this would be the critical region in here, and this t statistic or the p-value is way over here. This t statistic itself is way in the critical region, and you can see that p-value is so close to 0. And anytime it's less than the alpha, you would reject the null hypothesis. And so that's what we're going to do in this problem. Where is my p-value? Sorry, I'm in the alpha. I'm back in visualizations. Let's come back down here to hypothesis testing, and the p-value it says is, wow, this is basically 7 zeros before 5. So 0.00000000568, so on and so forth. It's an extremely small number. That is definitely less than 0.1. For that reason, we're going to reject the null hypothesis. So we'll reject the null hypothesis, and since we're rejecting this, this looks like it's not rejected. And so we're going to look how we want the claim to not be rejected. Perfect, right there. So the answer is going to be D. A would also be out. This is the part that makes A wrong. All right, now let's take a look at part or number 2. It says Jacob claims he can buy a new MP3 player for less than $50. So the claim is he can buy it for less than 50, not equal to, but less than, which means it has to be an alternative hypothesis, is that the mean is going to be less than $50. With that information, I'm going to write out that the null hypothesis is that the mean is going to be greater than or equal to $50. Again, this is going to be a one-tailed test here because it's just less than, which according to this tail, if it's mean, if the alternative hypothesis has a mean less than K, it's one-tailed, and it'll be a left side test again. So here it says, let's start changing our numbers. The mean of the population is 50. He checks the prices at 15 different websites. Okay, that's the number of samples. So this will be a T distribution we're going to be looking at. And the average price of the MP3 player is $49.25. $49.25. The standard deviation for the samples is 220. So I'll put that on there. find the p-value, determine whether there's enough evidence to support the claim at alpha being 0.5. So let's go to 0.5. We want this to be one tail, but one thing I need to do is switch my visualization. We're no longer looking at the left tail as a normal because we're less than 30 samples. We're going to use the left tail of a t-distribution. And the degrees of freedom, remember, is 1 less than the sample. So it'd be 15 minus 1, which is 14. So you can see that's the critical region here. Let me kind of zoom in better. There's the critical region. This t-statistic is not in the critical region. For that reason, we would not reject. So we would fail to reject the null hypothesis. The claim, which I didn't write that up here, we were claiming this, we would reject the claim. So we would fail to reject, but reject the claim. This is the p-value. The test statistic would be negative 1.32. The p-value is 0.104, which I need to have this updated. Hang on one second. And now I have the answers updated. And so we do have the p-value at 10.4. And it says, is there enough evidence to support the claim? So since we're not rejecting, we fail to reject the null. I'm going to point this out. Since we're failing to reject the null, that means we do reject. There is enough evidence to reject the claim. Specifically, let me point at the claim. So we're going to say 0.10 and enough evidence to reject the claim. Oh, and I'm sorry. Enough evidence to support the claim? No, we're not supporting the claim. So we're actually going to reject the claim. So I should be going with C here.